Have you ever called your cat, looked straight at them, said their name clearly, and they just ignored you? No reaction, no movement, nothing. And in that moment, most people think one simple thing: my cat doesn't understand me. But what if that's completely wrong? What if your cat understood every single word you said, processed it, and then made a decision not to respond? And what if, without even realizing it, you've been training your cat's brain every single day, teaching them the meaning of certain words, tones, and patterns? Because here's the truth most people never hear: your cat may understand far more than it shows. And once you see the hidden signals, you can't unsee them. Cats don't communicate the way humans expect. They don't perform, they don't exaggerate reactions, and they definitely don't respond just to please you. Instead, they observe, they remember, and most importantly, they build associations. This means your cat is constantly learning, not just from what you say, but from what happens after you say it. Every repeated word becomes linked to an experience. Every tone becomes linked to a feeling. Every interaction becomes part of a pattern. So this video isn't really about words. It's about how your cat builds a mental model of your behavior, your emotions, and your world. And by the end of this video, one simple realization might hit you: your cat hasn't been ignoring you. They've been evaluating you. 1. Individual name recognition and selective response evaluation. Let's begin with the most powerful and scientifically supported one: your cat's own name. You've said it hundreds of times, maybe thousands, and sometimes nothing happens. So it's easy to assume your cat doesn't understand it. But here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. Your cat hears their name. They recognize it. Their brain registers it instantly. But instead of reacting immediately, they pause. Even if that pause is almost invisible: a slight ear twitch, a small head movement, or a brief shift in attention. That's recognition. Cats evolved to conserve energy. They don't respond unless there's a reason. So instead of reacting emotionally like dogs, they evaluate. Now think about this scenario. You call your cat from your bed, silence. But a few minutes later, from the kitchen, you say the same name, and suddenly they appear out of nowhere. Same word, completely different response. Because your cat isn't reacting to the word itself, they're reacting to what that word usually leads to. Emotionally, your cat is asking a very simple question: what happens next? And your entire relationship is slowly shaping the answer to that question. 2. Aversive signal conditioning, through the word no. Now let's talk about something almost every cat owner uses: no. It feels like a clear command, a correction, a way to teach rules. But here's the reality: your cat doesn't understand no as a rule. They experience it as an emotional signal. When you say no sharply, your voice changes, your body language tightens, your energy shifts, and your cat picks up on all of it instantly. Over time, they connect that sound with tension, interruption, and discomfort. So yes, your cat reacts, but not because they understand "don't do this." They understand "this moment feels negative." Now imagine this happening repeatedly: the same tone, the same reaction, the same emotional pressure. Eventually, your cat may not just avoid the behavior, they may start avoiding you in that context, not because they're disobedient, but because they've learned something deeper. When this human sounds like this, I should create distance. And that's where a simple word begins to shape something much bigger: trust. 3. Reward-based predictive cue association, the treat phenomenon. Now let's shift into something that reveals just how intelligent cats really are: the word treat. At first glance, it seems obvious. Of course, your cat understands it. But what's really happening goes far beyond a single word. Your cat isn't just learning treat. They're learning a sequence, a pattern, a chain of events that always leads to something positive. They notice the time of day, the sound of your footsteps, the cupboard opening, even the subtle change in your movement. And by the time you say the word, your cat has already predicted what's coming. That's why they show up before you even call them. Because in their mind, the event has already begun. To your cat, treat doesn't just mean food. It means certainty. It means reward. It means something good is about to happen, and you are the one bringing it. And that repeated positive association, that's how emotional bonding is built, quietly and consistently. If you're starting to realize your cat is far more aware than you thought, and you're beginning to see their behavior in a completely different way, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because what we're about to uncover next might completely change how you understand your cat's intelligence. 4. Cross-individual name, mapping and social awareness intelligence. Now here's something that feels almost unbelievable. Your cat may know the names of other pets in your home, even if you never tried to teach them. Think about it. You call one cat, and another one suddenly looks up, watches, pays attention. That's not random. That's learning through observation. Cats are constantly watching patterns. Who gets called? Who responds? What happens next? And over time, they begin connecting sounds to individuals. This means your cat is doing something surprisingly advanced. They are building a social map of your home. They understand relationships. They track attention. They recognize patterns between names and actions. They're not just living in your house, they're studying it, silently, constantly. And the most fascinating part, you never had to teach them. 5. Invitation-based trust signal, the emotional meaning of come here. Now we move into something much deeper, the phrase, come here. This is not about obedience, this is about emotional history, because every time you say come here, your cat isn't just hearing a phrase, they're accessing memory. They're asking, what usually happens after this? In one home, this phrase means comfort, warmth, and safety. In another, it may mean being picked up, restricted, or placed in an uncomfortable situation. Same words, completely different emotional meanings. So when your cat hears come here, they don't respond automatically, they evaluate. And when they choose to walk toward you, that moment carries weight. That's not obedience, that's trust. That's your cat deciding that you are safe enough to approach. 6. Emotional tone recognition and voice-based attachment signals. And finally, the most powerful signal of all, your voice. Because your cat doesn't just understand words, they understand you, your tone, your emotion, your energy. These are the real signals your cat is responding to. You can say the exact same sentence in two different ways, and your cat will react completely differently. A soft, calm voice creates relaxation. A tense, sharp tone creates alertness. The words don't change, but the emotional message does. To your cat, your voice is more than communication. It's information. It tells them whether they're safe, whether something is wrong, whether they should come closer or move away. Over time, your voice becomes part of their emotional world, a signal of either comfort or caution. Here's the truth most people never fully realize. Your cat is always learning. Every word you repeat, every tone you use, every reaction you show is being stored, not as language, but as experience. Your cat isn't just learning words, they're learning you. They're learning what you mean, how you feel, and whether they can trust you. So the next time your cat ignores you, don't assume they didn't understand. Ask yourself something deeper. What have they learned from me? Your cat doesn't need to speak your language to understand you, because in their world, meaning is built through patterns, repetition, and emotion. And every time your cat chooses to come to you, to sit near you, to stay close, that's not instinct, that's not habit, that's a decision. A quiet, powerful decision, and it means something incredibly simple. You feel safe to them, and in a cat's world, that's everything.